Kamesh from ParaBlu.
Thank you. So, disclaimer before I start, my talk is going to be very technical. Okay, good afternoon everyone. So, I'm Kamesh, I run ParaBlu systems. So, let's face it, the public cloud is here to stay. People use it for a variety of reasons. Convenience and cost savings are one of the key parameters for which people move on to the public cloud. But there are challenges. Data privacy and security are the #1 reason for enterprises not to trust and move on to the public cloud. Let's take an example. If you put a patent document in Google Drive, Google and its associated partners can use it forever without paying royalty. Last year, Microsoft was under a scanner because they were writing meta information into files added into OneDrive for Business. Because of deduplication, user behavior analytics, and things like that. So, what I'm trying to say is, the cloud is not a completely trusted solution for digital assets. So here comes ParaBlu. ParaBlu helps enterprises migrate and manage their data into the public cloud securely with the lowest total cost of ownership. How do we do that? We have built BlueCrypt. It's a security and privacy gateway. So BlueCrypt sits on the corporate peripherals and ensures that all data that get transferred from the enterprise into the public cloud gets encrypted, and information governance and corporate policies are allowed on top of it. There are 3 major use cases that we see. One is basic file migration. People saying, hey, I have a lot of on-premise storage, I just want to push it onto the public cloud. The second is in terms of file sync and share. The third is endpoint backup. Here's the interesting thing. A lot of companies here talked about, 2 times, 3 times pivoting during the course. We actually did 2 pivoting before we came into the course, right? So the file sync and share and endpoint were before we came into the course, and we pivoted out into the BlueCrypt during this period. We want to talk specifically about few learnings that we did. So when we started going after the enterprise market, we all thought, hey, security is a major reason. Security solutions are like vitamins. Everyone are saying it's nice to have. It was contrary to our belief because we thought security is like a must-have solution. But compliance, on the other hand, is a must-have solution. So we had to shift our focus from being a security solution into a compliance solution. We interacted with a lot of CIOs, and all of them had 2 kinds of problems. First, I don't trust the public cloud. How do I leverage the public cloud? Second, all my end users are using some kind of non-IT approved data. How do I manage those things? How do I bring back the control into the organization? Over the last few months, we saw a major shift. Microsoft, as part of Office 365, is giving a terabyte of storage free for all enterprise users. This is a huge opportunity. So from a CIO point of view, it becomes great because they can push petabytes of data from an on-premise storage into the public cloud. But from a compliance point of view, they come back kicking in saying that any data that is over there in the public cloud, I have rights management issue, policy management issue. How do I control it? What happens if people access the data outside? Legal hold, a lot of things associated with it. So ParaBlu helps in solving this. This was a very niche thing that we thought, it's like a one-time thing that we thought can be done. And the moment we started approaching enterprises, almost all O365 migration users love this. And we are doing a lot of pilots specifically on this specific segment. Customer traction. This is very interesting considering that we are an Indian company, right? When we started going after the enterprise market, all of them said, hey, your solution is interesting, it's great, but we can't use you. Come back to me when you have a referential enterprise customer. It's become a chicken and egg problem. So we had to, go back and talk to a lot of CIOs and trying to figure out, can we get one marquee customer who will be able to be an early adopter and start utilizing the product. So we spent a lot of time in figuring that out and we got it. So the moment we got a marquee customer, then became a lot more easier. So essentially over the last 2-3 weeks, we have got like 3 major companies which have in an advanced commercial discussion. One is from the IT service, second is from financial segment, and third is from large conglomerate, right? From in terms of pipelines, we have a lot of customers because we were trying to speak to them from more general advice and can we do some pilot kind of thing, and they're now interested because we are able to show the reference customer. From a long-term growth point of view, we're looking at multiple stages. We realized that we would not be able to tap into this entire market all by ourselves. Frankly, we are a hardcore tech company, so we had to go through a distribution channel. And in really large enterprises, we learned that there are distributors, channel partners, second-level channel partners, and a whole ecosystem that has been built. So we tied up with a couple of distributors in India for pan-India growth, and we are working with them and their partners. MSPs found our solution interesting more from a hosted file sync and share solution. It was more from a white labeling point of view. A solution which we tried to do last year but pivoted out and we are not concentrating on. That's something that because we now have enterprise customers, they are looking into it. We had an OEM arrangement with the hardware vendor for bringing out a convergence appliance. In terms of market scope, Gartner calls it into 3 different segments. So essentially, all the information is present over here. One thing that is very clear is that we are in the hottest market currently and it has a very steep growth. Our product, because of the historical pivoting, can do a lot of things, right? Some of the cool things that our customers say they like are a hybrid file sync and share solution which is on-premise but having to store the data story in a public cloud. A full text content search which can drill down into petabytes of data to specifically pick that one single document or key touch points. Because we started out as an Indian company, we were working with Indian SMBs or Indian market initially. We were hit by last mile issues. People were having issues in connectivity. Network drops used to happen, the internet pipes were not too high. To solve those problems, we did a lot of workaround to do network bandwidth throttling, data optimization and things like that, which we never talked about. But the moment we went into an enterprise market, people started seeing that as a major differentiating feature. One of the things that we can do is have the solution is endpoint aware, network aware and cloud aware. It knows how much of memory, disk and CPU utilization that's happening in the system. It figures out what is happening in the network in terms of automatic policy changing, automatic data management, and it can throttle the network cloud basically because of figuring out whether there is a lot of usage on it or not. So what is stopping any other company from actually replicating what we are doing? Few things. One is we did a lot of analysis and we are the only company in the world who are currently working on an enterprise file sync and share solution with a security gateway approach. So that gives us a first mover advantage. We think it will take anywhere between 18 to 24 months for any company to replicate what we have done. I have a really large experienced advisory board who have actually done multiple M&As and have been part of IPOs. This is my second startup. My previous startup was developing products for Swiss Bank which got sold out. Right? And we have also filed patent in the US. From a technology point of view, to just replicate this, you need a team which knows servers, mobile platform, desktop storage, backup, kernel, OS, network, a lot of things. So this is very hard skill to get in the market. Next steps. So we are looking at it from a long-term point of view. In the next financial year, we are thinking to hit about 50 business customers. Later half of the year, we are probably going to go and get a Series A round. And we just spun up our US operations and our forecast is to hit a $50 million run rate in the next 4 years. Now, given the high-profile audience here, we have a few asks. So one is to get enterprise connects. And second one is to connect us with specific vendors in terms of infrastructure, storage or security people to whom we can do an OEM or a partnership model. Thank you.
ask you, what is your one key takeaway from the program past 3 months?
It's hard to put one, so I mean probably do it from a couple of things. There's something that we learned from a product and a company point of view. There's something that I learned personally, right? So from a product point of view, because of historical pivoting, we are so focused on different things. So the moment when people ask what you're doing, we're like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K. So technology guys, technology entrepreneurs are so passionate about it. They want to get everything. I mean, they don't want to let the other people say that they want to finish all the features that they could. We were doing it. So during the course, I think in the first 2-3 weeks, we figured out that our marketing position statement was horribly wrong. So that's something that we changed. And the moment we changed it and went out, a lot of people really said, you're doing that, but how do you do this? So then it became more of a conversation and helped us. So that was a major thing. From a personal point of view, I didn't expect that I can be out for a single day, not being in the company, and then the company would run. You get so paranoid. Like, what happens if I don't go there? And will the company be there? Will things work? You get so paranoid. So the moment we started spending time outside, we realized that it will exist. And when I finished, coming to Citrix and went back home, my family was like, "What are you doing here? Don't you have a life? What are you doing at home?" So it adds a lot of difference. So Gaurav was mentioning that the team is completely unmarried, right? So half my team are married and with kids. So that gives a perspective of what we are doing. So we do a 6-day sprint, and we have every Sunday morning we have a board meeting to finalize on what has happened for the week. That's the way we work. So that gives a clear indication about it's not just that unmarried is a key criteria. It's about how passionate are you about the product.
I know you are happily married. That's the summary of this. Thank you.